Now I'm very, very pleased to introduce our commencement speaker this year, our very own alumna, Colleen Fallon Arnold. Ms. Arnold graduated from Nazareth in 1979 with a degree in business, and she then earned her MBA from the Whitman School of Management at Syracuse University. She has had truly an extraordinary career, serving in leadership positions at IBM for 35 years. In her various roles, she was responsible for the development of global business services and was the global leader for IBM's consulting services. She also managed the sales and delivery of their application services and responsible for revenue, profit, and client satisfaction worldwide. She has traveled and lived extensively throughout the world, served on a variety of company-wide leadership teams, and recently retired as one of the senior vice presidents for IBM. We are so very proud of Colleen's achievements, and I ask you to please join me in welcoming her to this ceremony. Colleen Arnold.
Thank you, President Braverman. Thank you, faculty, staff, Board of Trustees. Thank you, family and friends that are here with the graduates. It means so much. I remember how much it meant to me when I was sitting in the audience. And for the class of 2017, I am so proud of you. Congratulations. So I do remember sitting in the audience, and after the day was over, I went back to O'Connor dorm, and all of my stuff was in the car. And I remember getting in the car and saying, oh my God, now what? Because I wasn't really quite sure, other than that I had achieved this wonderful degree at Nazareth College, and I was told that I was ready by the commencement speaker. So there, I thought about what I would say today and think about how I could break down my experiences over those 35 years and relate them back to how special Nazareth College is, just how very special and what an impact it made in my life. And I hope you'll feel the same as you go through your journey. For me, the easiest way to do that was not to look forward, because as you heard from the other speakers, you don't always know what's ahead. But you certainly can learn about yourself by looking back 10 years. I mean, think about yourself. Think about what happened in high school and what happened in college, and perhaps there's one moment of truth that became who you are today. And that's how I'm going to break down these next 30 years and also talk to you about those moments of truth that shaped me. But it wouldn't be possible without the very first moment of truth, and it happened because of Nazareth College. You see, I was in high school, and I knew that I wanted business as my degree. It was going to be my passion. Now, it was only because I worked at my father's office. He was an oral surgeon. My sister, who's here, is a Nazareth grad, and my other sister, who was a Nazareth College 2-year participant, she had to go to University of Rochester to get her nursing degree. Can you imagine back then? She had to leave this wonderful place. But my sister and I worked with my dad, and I fainted dead away at the blood, so I give a lot of strength to anybody here that can actually do that. And I was really good at the business side. And that was about it. So I went to my guidance counselor at my high school, and I said, that's what I want to do. I want to pursue a business degree. And at that moment, my guidance counselor said to me, no, you don't. There's no place in business for women. I was just shaken. But then I quickly realized she was a woman, she's mistaken. And my sister, who was at Nazareth, said, hey, Cal, come on up. Come visit me for the weekend. There's a business degree here at Nazareth. I don't know, maybe you'd like it. I went up that weekend. I had the time of my life. I understood how serious Nazareth was about being innovative in their practices and developing talent, and I made no other choice. That day I said, I'm going to Nazareth College. And during those 4 years, I learned to be resilient. I was stretched. It was serious. I loved everything that I was learning, but the faculty was very, very good to me. They said, it's not going to be easy, but if this is your passion, you're ready to go for it. And so as I face forward and I think about that 10-year span that happened after that moment, after I drove away from O'Connor Dorm, the thing that really stuck with me was knowing that I was ready. Well, I jumped into IBM and then went on to go after 17 different jobs in the 35 years I was at IBM. Now, each time I took on a new job, it was like I was back in the parking lot of O'Connor. You know, I was starting over. But there was this passion and this drive to learn and to take a risk and to really make something of myself that really kept me going. And I didn't get the easy jobs. They were always the jobs that nobody else wanted. You know, those career-enhancing roles that someone else had failed before. But that was okay. That was okay, because I was going to be learning and I was going to be stretched. The next 10-year segment was one of the most remarkable for me. And that was where I met my husband and had my children and continued my career. Oh, that's right. Someone said you can't have it all. Well, they were wrong as well. So in that second half, this is where the adventurer came out. And because I began to learn what I was going to be. Remember, at O'Connor, I had no idea. By that second segment, I was good at turnarounds. I was good at going into the hard jobs, finding the new strategy, developing the talent, and moving forward. I also loved developing brand new businesses. And so IBM gave me the template to be what I wanted to be and to really drive as hard as I would, and my family gave me the foundation. And so it's really important for you to think about before you start out, what's important to you? So who and what makes you happy? Because all you want to be is happy and successful in life when you really boil it down. And what made me happy and successful in life was the love of a family, both mine, that I was so happy to find, as well as the family I was brought up in, the ability to go drive towards my passion, and the constant learning. Well, there was one more moment of truth that happened years later when I was asked to lead the Europe, Middle East, Africa, and Russia business. I was so excited. Finally, one of the good jobs was coming to me instead of me trying to grab for it. And at that moment, it wasn't going to work for my family. They loved going to Australia, which was the previous assignment. They loved that. But this time, it wasn't going to work for the family. So the family decided, we'll stay here and you commute. And so for 2 years, I led that business in Europe and was home every single Friday night. I'd have 2 big buckets of Starbucks on Saturday morning on the soccer field. But I was living the passion of going after a career and also having a wonderful family, and that's where happiness and success came for me. There was one more lesson, and it was about not fearing failure. And you hear it so many times in these commencement addresses, but I can tell you the moment that it happened for me. It was in that Australia posting where I was leading that business. That business was, once again, a turnaround. They had lost their way, thousands of employees, and we had to deliver the Olympics. I mean, the business was in shambles. I was going to be the CEO of a joint venture, wasn't trained to be a CEO. That didn't bother me. But how was I going to motivate this team, and what was I going to do? By the way, my husband was opening up the Asia marketplace. My children were thriving. They were fine. I was the one that was having the tough time with this one. And for a moment, I thought, I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if I should just go home. I didn't use the word quit, but I mean, am I a fraud? Is this where I'm going to find out this really isn't true? And I'll tell you, I decided to go for a walk on a beach, and the waves in Australia are angry. I mean, I'm only 5'2", but they look like they were 25-foot waves. And when I'd feel them crashing, and I'd walk that beach, and those crashing waves felt bigger than the problems I was facing. Things seemed to get clear. And I would go back and I'd say to the team, all right, this isn't me leading the team, it's you. You and I are going to walk our way out of this problem, and you're going to have your own careers develop. And so there is an amazing capability that you learn from working with talented people. And that's when you learn it's not just about you. It's about the people that you surround yourself with and finding that special thing in them. And in that moment, I became fearless. And so now let's come back to today. It's now your time. You're going to go back to your car. It's going to be packed. And I'm going to ask you to dial in to your GPS, your Wave app, or if you're really old school, your AAA trip ticket. That corner of happiness and success, because it's very personalized. It's what makes you happy and feel successful. Define that, look back 10 years, jump forward 10. Don't fear what's in front of you. And most of all, when you're in a meeting and you've changed or you've transformed your unit, or you have come through with a breakthrough in physical therapy, or you've done something outstanding in your field of work, and someone in that room does what they did to me many, many times over my 35 years. They stop and they say, "Where'd you get your degree?" They're asking, what made you tick? Who developed you? How are you this extraordinary? I want you to put your shoulders back. I want you to clear your voice, and I want you to say, I'm a Nazareth College of Rochester grad, and be very proud of that. Congratulations, class of 2017.